Alright, it's time for what most people have been waiting for, the advanced Spidey guide. If you don't know me, I'm what you could call a Spidey enthusiast. I'm Neptune, a Marvel Rivals Spider-Man professional. If you're anything like me, you were probably drawn to Spider-Man because, well, he's Spider-Man. Who doesn't love Spidey? But if you played him in Marvel Rivals, you've probably realized he's extremely hard to play. Well, I'm here to help with that. Now it's true, Spider-Man is really fun to just use his webs to swing around everywhere. But he's so much more than that. Spider-Man is a mobile, fast-attacking backline assassin in Marvel Rivals. If you haven't already and want to learn some of the basics, check out my basic Spider-Man guide that will be linked below. Now that we have gotten all of that out of the way, let's get into the special sauce and talk about the more advanced side of Spidey. I'm going to teach you some things about Spidey that no one else talks about. So fasten your seatbelts and lock in because this is my advanced Spider-Man guide. Before we get into the first tip, I want to make an important mention of one thing, and that is emphasizing how important movement on Spider-Man is. If you do not have the movement down with Spider-Man and have what I like to call flow, which I'll use a bunch in this video by the way, you can and will get caught out when playing Spider-Man. So please take what I say in this video as important lessons, and I promise you'll improve greatly. Alright, let's get into something we call web canceling. When you do it right, it will send you across the map, but any slight variation or mess up and it won't send you far at all. And sometimes will even slow you down. So watch closely. I'm going to try to show this in 3 different ways. First, how to do it the proper way, how to do it but with a slightly different timing, and then the completely messed up way. So to do the web cancel, you have to web swing at the ground. Use your tracer and then jump. If you do this correctly, you should get this huge boost of momentum and be able to continue jumping until the momentum is all out. Now there are some scenarios where you have to be careful with this. For example, if you do it at the wrong time and don't stop, you can run into a wall and it will slow you down. So make sure you use it at the right times and stop when you need to. When you need to stop the momentum, all you have to do is throw another web swing down again. However, there are a few scenarios where you do it, but not to its full capacity. One example is where you only do one jump after the web cancel, and another is where you stall in the air after the jump. These can be good in some scenarios, but again, you aren't doing it to the max capacity, and your timing is slightly off, usually because of the first initial jump. Now, there's also a completely wrong way of doing it. This typically happens when your timing is completely off, or because you jump before you throw your tracer. Try to avoid this at all costs, as it just ends up slowing you way down, and in fact it would have been faster to just walk to begin with. All in all, I spent about 3 hours trying to get this down just one time. It takes a ton of time to learn, and most of my mess ups came from the timing of it. The timing of it is key. I know, it's a lot of effort, but I promise you this move is 100% worth it, and it is what will separate you from all of the other Spider-Mans. It is super important. So get into training and practice. Some other cool tech with Spidey is what's called uppercut canceling. Similar to a web cancel, you can carry your momentum mid-air using your uppercut to continue flying forward in the direction you are moving. Uppercut canceling is a lot easier to do than the web cancel, because the only part of the timing you have to get down is making sure to time it as your momentum is ending and as you are starting to go down. This one is not as important, but is still a very useful tech with Spidey that you need to get down. Another great way to have a better movement and produce flow. Another really cool thing you can pair this with is using the uppercut cancel after a web swing, paired with the get over here ability and another web swing to cancel the momentum. Although this isn't very important, there are easier ways to pull opponents. This does create another fun way to do it and is useful when you have a ton of momentum already. Now I'm going to show you something a lot of people aren't aware of, which is this wall climbing tech I think you'll find pretty cool. A little bit of a caveat though, I believe this only works with people on a PC. But this is a faster and more practical way of wall climbing that is important if you have the ability to do so. To set this up, go into your settings, select Spider-Man, find the jump ability, and set the second key to your scroll wheel. Oh, and it can be up or down, whichever you prefer. Now to do this, go close to a wall and slowly scroll. Spidey will glide up the wall very fast. This is extremely useful because you avoid the climb up animation and the backflip animation when jumping off the wall. This is useful because it allows you to get away quicker and smoother, and allows you to attack your opponent quicker, giving you the opportunity to use your abilities quicker. Without this tech, it takes longer to climb up, attack, it gives your opponents time to react, and it allows you to randomly attach to walls when you don't want to. This one only took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get down in training, and I definitely recommend using it as soon as possible. Keep in mind though, you have to look directly at the wall for this to work correctly. We're going to discuss some animation cancels you can do when fighting an opponent. Listen carefully. If you double jump and use the overhead swing, you can cancel this by immediately going into an uppercut to do more damage. Now here's where things get complex. If you jump and instantly click and let go of the web swing, you create a web swing cancel. If you pair this with the overhead swing, you get to avoid double jumping and get the overhead swing quicker, creating what you could call an overhead swing cancel. To add this into an entire combo, do tracer into get over here, into jump web swing cancel, into primary cancel, into uppercut to kill any 250 health target. If you're wondering about a 275 health target, just add a tracer at the end. Only problem with that is it is slightly slower and can leave you vulnerable, or they can get away in general. But I have a solution for that. It's to add a tracer cancel. If you web swing cancel just before throwing the tracer, it creates a tracer cancel, allowing you to throw the tracer just ever so slightly. If you add this to the combo I just mentioned, it creates the fastest 275 health, 0 to death combo you can get. You do it like this. Tracer into get over here, into jump swing cancel, into primary cancel, into uppercut cancel, swing cancel, into tracer cancel. Super duper complicated, I know. Although there are easier, more beginner friendly combos in my first guide, this is faster and better in the long run. Do I recommend practicing these combos? Yes and no. It takes a ton of time to get these combos down, and they only work if you have all of the other mechanics down first. Hence why I say only practice the combos if you have everything else mentioned down first. If you're that person, then go for it. But you will spend hours and hours getting these down. That being said, it is worth it and will level you up as a Spider-Man. As a Spider-Man, you should know tanks are your worst enemy. However, there are some key things to know when you do have to fight one. The best thing for you to do when fighting a tank is to use tracers paired with jumps and overhead swings after doing a basic combo first, such as a tracer, get over here, uppercut. And that's honestly the best you can do. Otherwise, try to swing out and fight them with your team. As Spider-Man, you have many different tools at your disposal. Make sure to use those wisely. We mentioned this earlier and in my last video, but make sure to use your get over here ability wisely to pull your opponents off the map, specifically tanks. If you can get this down and use it with your full potential, you will turn team fights completely around and it will literally carry your team to a victory. Another key tool is to use your downwards web swings and the B hop that I showed you at the beginning of the video to chase opponents down. Let's be real, opponents get away sometimes. So use your web swings wisely to chase them down and use web cancels when appropriate. Sometimes you will be fighting an opponent midair and they will go towards the ground or be low health on the ground. Be sure to use your web swing to swing down and do a combo, or do a flyby like I discussed in the first guide. You've probably seen in my montage some of the flashy looking rollouts I do on different maps. Although these are useful, they aren't something you need to learn right away. To do these appropriately, it takes a lot of precision. Practice the precision and timing needed, and you'll be able to replicate it exactly. A few key things to know about rollouts is they help with speed, they're good get out tools, and they help you get back into fights easier. The cool thing about rollouts is you can be super creative with them. Not every Spider-Man Pro uses the same ones. So it can be a lot of fun going into maps and testing and trying different ones out. I'm not going to go through all of my rollouts today. However, I will make a guide in a future video of the main rollouts in different maps and go step by step on how to do them. And that's going to wrap this one up. What'd you think? If you need help or extra tips, please leave them in the comments. I'll try to respond to everyone. Although learning the ins and outs of Spider-Man can be very difficult, it ends up being very rewarding. Trust me, it's worth playing him. I know I said in my last video I'd be going over replay reviews, but I decided I'd make an entire video over that, which will be coming out next. It will show live gameplay and be reviewing how to play Spider-Man in tons of different scenarios. Thank you all so much for watching the entire video. I'm hoping by the time this comes out, I have already hit or I'm about to hit 500 subscribers in just a week of starting the channel. And for that, I can't thank you all enough. But that's going to be it from me. And until the next one, yeah, I got nothing.